Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women, whatever place it is that you're tuned onto the Life Signatures Radio. I hope you're having a good life. I hope everything around you, even in this new month, in this new year, is going on well for you. If it's not, let me tell you, let me encourage you. Let me just give you some encouragement. If you are not needed on earth, okay? If you were not needed, you will be dead. But you are here because you are needed. So I'm just going to ask you to encourage yourself and hold on a little bit longer. Sometimes your future, your latter will be greater than your past. So the Life Signatures podcast is a daily show where we talk about purpose, productivity, and resilience. And right now, I'm in the middle of a long series where we're talking about work. Yesterday, we started asking the question, can work or should work create an identity? Or does it affect my identity? And I'm going to continue talking about that today in this episode, so stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
Quite a number of things came up yesterday as I was sharing with you very many things, and I talked about identity, and this is what I say, that when it comes to identity, I have come to realize that the greatest entity that gives you, or the greatest force, the greatest identity that one can create for themselves is that which comes from their core work. And there is no bigger purpose for the human race other than to work. We said very many things here that it is directly connected to your identity. That's why you work, whether you like it or not. And therefore, we need to go back and just on the drawing board and ask ourselves, what in the world do we mean by work? Because sometimes we get this wrong. Sometimes we have attached work to monetary gain or conduit for monetary gain, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. The only problem is that we think anything else down outside of that parameter is not work. So if I am sweeping, I am not working. I like what my kids normally talk about when they're doing their assignment. Sarah says my work. She calls it my work. Okay, my work. And she started doing this even when she wasn't at school. They call their assignments, their academic whatevers, their work. And I love that. I love that kind of mentality. Work is not necessarily that just which has a monetary gain at the end of the day, at the end of the week, or at the end of the month. We've got to put that into perspective. How you define work is one of the greatest things that you need to know. And I believe when a student is researching to know how a molecule works, I believe that is work. Did you know that when you are thinking about what you're going to do, that is work? When a writer like myself faces a blank sheet of paper and has to fulfill, has to translate, has to encode some things, some thoughts, some inspiration, some instruction on that blank sheet of paper, that is work. Work is not just that which you are paid for. When I am here podcasting, it is work. Am I being paid for it? Actually, I'm paying for this podcast to be hosted, but it is work. Work is not just that which you've got to be paid for. Anything that makes you to create, okay? Anything that makes you to think, anything that makes you to initiate, to manage, to exert effort, to go against the grain, to change, or even to maintain what is already conquered, and much more, that will be work. There is basically no definition of work that must include payment. So let us talk about payment, wages, salaries, and bonuses. How about them? I might say something that is extremely controversial here, ladies and gentlemen. Payment for work was never the central theme for working. And it drives me to ask the question, the first guy that was called jobless, who was that guy? I mean, when did it start? Did it start initially? Did it start, where did this idea of joblessness begin? Where did it emanate from? And I guarantee you 100%, joblessness began when we started attaching salaries, wages, bonuses, payments onto the main agenda for work. That's when joblessness began. Because the people who are calling themselves jobless even right now, they have work to do, a lot of work. And I always say, are you jobless? Come to me. Together, I will create a full timetable for the whole week that you can repeat over and over again. Even if you're not going to get paid, there is not a single moment in time that you will be idle. That's how we need to look at work. And let me tell you this, the guy that I've created the timetable, the guy who's calling himself jobless, and he runs through that timetable faithfully for 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, they will drop that name jobless like a hot potato. And in fact, sooner or later, they will start earning. You get my drift? Payment for work was never the central theme for working. Never. Change, impact, growth, contribution, the full deployment of our glory, giftedness, talents, abilities, passion, that was the agenda for work. Work was meant to create things that make this world a better place. Through work, we should be able to meet many needs, as I found on Maslow's pyramid, the way he drew that pyramid. However, we've got to reconcile to the fact that even before we can start ascending that pyramid of Maslow, our identity, like we talked about yesterday, as humans, is already connected to these things we're doing. It's already connected to our work. We only come alive as humans when we work, not when we are enjoying life. I tell you, the definition of your identity is not connected to how much you're enjoying life. You will not give me any definition of your identity commensurate to how much you're enjoying life. It is always going to be commensurate to what kind of productivity you're having on the face of the earth. That's it. Comfort, relaxation, and rest, how about those? If you're speaking of enjoying life, rest and relaxation are fundamentally important, even as work itself. I normally say they're on the same pedestal, they're on the same wavelength, they're on the same plane, on the same weighing scale. Rest, relaxation, comfort, and work. One follows the other. Here's the thing. You've got no business having rest and relaxation and coziness if you did not work. None. The greatest problem we see today is human beings trying to gain identity from activities of comfort, from activities of rest and relaxation. That's why your Instagram is filled with, how you I'm not gonna go there. That's why your TikTok, anyway, The greatest problem we see today is human beings trying to gain their identity from comforts, coziness, and all those things, other than from their work. And that's why there's a lot of mental illnesses in this day and in this age. Because people are trying to be followed. People are trying to get the esteem of others from the outside, not from their work. So we've got to come back to that place where we start looking at work from a different angle. This is what you and I can be able to do. First, let's know that we were born to work, and that work is not a curse. It is part and parcel of who we are. Secondly, let's have the correct definition of work. What is the correct definition of work? It is anything that allows you to create, anything that allows you to bring to pass new ideas, anything that allows you to transform, even to transform yourself, anything that allows you to manage stuff, anything that puts you in charge, in control, where you're expending your efforts, your skills, your passion, your determination, and so on. We've got to find the definition of work. And I've not added on that definition, I've not added payment. Okay? Someone will argue, but I've already explained myself. Thirdly, let us work. After we've defined work, let us work. In between, we can rest. In between, we can relax. We can have vacations. And we can get paid. But let us work. Let it be a constant. Where the rubber meets the road is our identity is strongly connected to what we do, to the work we do. And guess what? Again, the work we do is directly connected to who we are. It's like a cycle. It's like a cycle, not a cycle. It's like in phases. It's like connected. That me, who I am, I was created for something. Once I know who I am, then my identity of who I am drives me to work. That's authenticity. And as I work, I still derive my identity from the work. But the identity actually began before I started working. I hope that makes sense to you. But at the end of the day, central to who we are, central to our existence, there is our work. So tomorrow we will continue talking about this subject matter of work. Until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.